All right, so today we're going to be talking about parallel lines. Now, let me kind of zoom into this right here. So the questions usually are not too difficult for parallel lines, but the one thing you guys have to understand about parallel lines is that they have the same slope. Okay, so let me just kind of write some stuff down over here on the side. Okay, so parallel lines. Okay, so first off, these are two lines, or I guess you could say two or more lines that have the same slope. All right, so the way they write it down in math books is usually m sub 1 equals to m sub 2, meaning like the slope of one equation is equal to the slope of the other equation. Okay, so they just have to have the same slope. So your goal, at least for the first couple of problems that they show us, is to check to see if they have the same slope. Okay, how do we check to see if they have the same slope? We're going to want to use this equation, because that tells us slope. Okay, that equation, remember we've been using it a lot, it's called the slope-intercept form. Okay, so if it's not in slope-intercept form, we want to write it into slope-intercept form so we could actually see the slope. We'll write down their slopes of the two lines and figure out whether or not they have the same slope. Now, a real quick FYI for you guys. So this is just kind of like a little tip. If a line is x equal to a number, okay, so if it says x equals 3, x equals -7, okay, x equals 0, whatever. If a line is given and it's just x equal to a number, the slope is vertical, straight up and down, okay? So if it says x equal to a number, then the slope is vertical. Now if a line is y equal to a number, okay, so just like y equals to 7, y equals -4, okay, the slope is 0. Okay, so if they told you y equals 3, then you know the slope is just 0. If it's just y equal to a number, your slope is going to be 0. If it's just x equal to some number, then your slope will be vertical. Okay, a vertical line. That's all. All right, so just a couple little things you guys should kind of keep on the side of your notes. That way when you're doing the homework, you can say, oh, I remember seeing like x equals 5. So if it's x equals 5, my slope is going to be vertical. If it's y equal to 3, my slope is 0. Okay? Those are things you have to remember. If it's not that case, if you have like two variables, like 2x plus 3y equals 7, then you're going to want to solve by using that right there. Okay? Y equal to mx plus b, and then finding your slope. So let me show you some examples for this, okay? So, actually, I don't want to do one because one's already set up for you. I want to do stuff that's not set up. So let's start off with 3, and then we'll do something similar to 4, okay? Because I don't want to do all the questions on the homework. But let me write this out for you guys, okay? Y equals -5x plus 6 and 20x plus 4y equals 16. So I just wrote both equations out. Okay, if you want to do a separation between the two, you can just kind of draw a vertical line here. That way you can separate your work. So notice on the left side, I have an equation that's already solved for y, right? It's called slope-intercept form. It's already solved. What's my slope for this equation here? Anybody know? Remember my m value, right? Well, not negative 5x, but just negative 5, right? Just the number. So good. Remember, your slope is here. That's your slope. Once you solve for y, it's right there. So my slope is negative 5. So good. If this other line is parallel to the first line, that means it needs to have the same slope, okay? So if I can find that m equals negative 5 for the other equation, then I'm going to say they're parallel. If it's not, then I'm going to say that it's neither. It's not parallel, okay? They're not the same. So let's start solving for y. So in order to solve for y, I'll kind of go over the first step here. We're going to subtract 20x on both sides. All right, so 20x minus 20x goes away. I get 4y equal to, now remember, we want to write the letter, the variable in the middle, so we're going to put negative 20x plus 16. What's my last step here to get y by itself? All right, divide by 4, thank you. So I get y equal to negative 5x plus 4. What's my slope for this problem? All right, negative 5, right? It's the same one. Look. So are these parallel? Do they have the same slope? Yes. Yeah, so these are parallel. Okay. So that question, I would say that they are parallel. Now, just a real quick peek. Let's look at question number 2. Okay, look at question number 2. They gave me two problems. X equals negative 5. Y equals 3. So I gave you guys a FYI for this. What is my slope for x equal to negative 5? It's not negative 5. Look at the little FYI note that I gave you guys. If a line is x equal to a number, the slope is vertical. So you see this one? X equal to a number, the slope is vertical. Right? Straight up and down. What's the slope for y equal 3? 0. Thank you. Do those match? No. So I'm going to write neither. Okay, they are not parallel. So those are pretty easy. You just got to know the, I guess you could call it the trick, right? If it's x equal to a number, it's a vertical slope. If it's y equal to a number, the slope is 0. Since they don't match, they're not parallel, so we just write neither. Okay, now I want to give you guys a different example really quick, and then we'll move on. Like, I know they gave us number 4, but I don't want to do number 4 for us. Let me just do one over here on the side, okay? I'm just going to do a problem here on the side. I'm going to put, are these parallel? So we'll do 2x minus 3y equals 6. And we'll try 5x plus 2y equals 8. That's kind of like number 4 if you look at it. I mean, look at number 4. It has like a lot of different things there for us, right? So I'm kind of trying to make something similar, but I don't want to actually do number 4 because then I'm actually going to do one of the challenging ones. I want you at least, well, I'm going to do all the challenging ones in that case. So that means that you're not going to have to do one of them. So I don't want to take that away from you. I want you guys to try one. So I'll do one that's kind of challenging over here on the side. So if I'm going to want to check to see if these are parallel, what I always do is I rewrite the problem side by side. You don't have to do this. That's up to you. But one of the main things that I always preach to my students is clean. You need your math to be clean, right? Vertical work is usually best when you work from top down and you want to separate your work. You don't want to kind of intrude into the other parts and stuff. So try to be as clean as possible. So in case you make a mistake, you can always look back and find your errors, right? If your work is all messy, then it's kind of hard to do that. So if I'm going to check if these are parallel, I need to solve for y. So let's look at the left side equation. What do I move first? This side over here. The what? The 2x? Is that what you're saying? I'm not sure if that... It sounded like you said that. So I'm going to take it. Okay, so minus 2x on both sides. I get negative 3y equals negative 2x plus 6. What do I do next? All right, divide by negative 3. Thank you. So I end up with the following equation. Y equals to 2/3 x minus 2. What's my slope? 2/3. Thank you. So 2/3. That's my slope. So if this other equation has a slope of 2/3, then I can say that they are parallel. Okay, as long as it matches. All right. So what's my first step on the other equation? So this one over here. How do I solve for y? What do I want to move? The 5x. Thank you. So we're going to move the 5x. Subtract 5x. So we got 2y equal to negative 5x plus 8. And my last step here is to do what? Divide by 2. Thank you. So we're dividing by 2. I get y equal to negative 5 halves x plus 4. So what's my slope for this one? All right, thank you. So negative 5 over 2. Do they have matching slopes? No, so we're going to write neither. Okay? They're not parallel. So, I mean, this work isn't terribly difficult. You just got to solve for y, okay? If it's already solved for y, so notice, not that I wanted to do these for you, but I mean, let's just take a peek at question number 1 really quick. Again, these are part of your homework problems, right? But let's take a peek at question number 1 really quick. You see how question number 1 already has it in slope-intercept form? Do they have the same slope? No, so right now you already know the answer should be neither, right? So without even doing any work, you can just look at them, right? So that's why it's important that you know what you're looking for. Now, the last set of problems that you're going to be doing, so it's 6 through 10, there's 6 of these. They're going to want you to write the slope-intercept form of the equation of a line, okay? In other words, write an equation, y equals mx plus b, okay? But they're giving you a point. Okay, so there's a point here. And then they're giving you a line on the right side. But they said it has to be parallel to that line, right? Parallel to that line. So let's look at number 5. This is the slope that I'm going to use. Okay, since they told me this thing is parallel, I'm going to use negative 9/5 as my slope. Because it has to be parallel. Oops, that's not a 9/5. And then I'm going to use this point. Because they gave that to me. Now they want me to write my answer in this form right here. Y equals mx plus b. So the things that I need are m and b. So remember I always used to make these little boxes for us in our work, right? So we know what we need. So what can I fill in on that box right now? All right, the 9/5, the slope, right? So negative 9/5. So all I need is the b value. Okay, and again, we've done this before, guys. We've figured out how to find b if they give me a slope and a point, we know how to do this. Okay, that was from section 2.3. All right, you just quizzed on this literally yesterday, right? So you start off with the equation y equals mx plus b, and you plug in your point and you plug in your slope. Okay, y is negative 4, m is negative 9/5, x is a positive 5, plus b. Now here's where I'm getting everything. Okay, here's x, here's y, and obviously here's m, right? That's where I got that information to plug in, from the point and from the slope. Now you can cancel these, the 5 and the 5. So all we have left is negative 4 equal to negative 9 plus b. So what do I do to both sides to get b by itself? All right, so add 9 here. That gives me 5 equals to b. So check it out. I'm going to put it right here. And now, since I filled in both boxes, I'm going to write my equation. Okay? So here's my answer to this whole problem. Y equals negative 9/5 x plus 5. Remember, I plugged it in, and that's how I got that, okay? Plugged it into that equation. These are a little bit more challenging because it's not like you're trying to prove that they're parallel or not. You should note that they are parallel because notice how the original equation and the equation I wrote have the same slope, right? So they are parallel. But the problem is I have to go through and figure out the equation, right? I'm not just given the equations like I was in the first 4 problems. So it's a little bit more difficult because I have to go through that. Let's check out question number 8. And then after that, you guys will have time to just work on homework. All right. So question number 8. They want me to write an equation of a line in slope-intercept form that goes through that point, 3, negative 4, and is parallel to y equals to x plus 2. What's my slope? Isn't it supposed to be the number in front of the x? What number is in front of the x? A 1, right? That's why I wanted to do this one, because sometimes people freak out. They're like, well, there's nothing there, right? There is something there. It's a 1, and 1 times x is just x, so that's why you don't see it, right? But there's a 1 right there. So let me write down my information that I know. I know my slope has to be 1, and I know that I have a point, 3, negative 4. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing I did in the other problem, guys. I'm going to write down my goal. This is what the problem says they want me to write. An equation in that form. But I need a slope and I need a y-intercept. These are things that I got to fill in. I already know one of those things, right? I know my slope. My slope is 1. That's easy because I found that in the very beginning. But now I got to find my b value. And in order to do that, we have to kind of go back to writing the equation, filling in stuff that I know, like my point and my slope, and solving for b. So here we go. Y equals mx plus b. What's my x value? Sorry, not my x value, my y value. Negative 4, good. Again, I'm going to label them just in case you don't know where I'm looking for those, but it's right there, okay, in green. M, x, and y. So negative 4 is correct. What is my m value? 1. 1 is my m value. And my x value? 3. Plus b. So that's negative 4 equals 3 plus b. So all I have to do is subtract 3, and I got my b value. So let me subtract 3 on both sides. Negative 7 is equal to b. So I'm going to put that right here. And now I'm done, right? I filled in those 2 boxes. So let me write down my equation. Y equals mx, m is 1, so I'm just going to write, I can write 1x for now if you want. 1x minus 7. And now if I erase the 1, because it's not necessary, it matches the other equation, right? Y equals x plus 2. They have the same slope, right? A 1 there. So I'm just going to put my box here, and there you go. Okay, so this is considered the easier of the two lessons.